Heavy chairs.
I'm good now. This is the last one. Last one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go. The better that happens in the beginning than right in the middle. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, is this anyone's first time here for the town hall? Okay. All right. So, welcome back. So, how do you like the chairs? Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty nice. So, pretty heavy too. Yeah, so they're built to last, which is good. They're built to last. So as I get started this morning, I wanted to welcome my folks from home that are joining us in their home. So welcome. For new folks that may have just moved into the community that I haven't had a chance to meet, I believe I met everybody. My name is Michael Friedel. I'm the executive director here at Tide Point. Welcome to our July town hall. So we have an action-packed agenda today. I guess some guest speakers are going to be joining us. It's going to move fairly quickly, and then we're going to preserve 10 minutes at the end because we're going to do some celebration for the folks that were involved in Minutes in Motion. So we're going to recognize those folks that were out there getting it done. So anyway, let me jump right in. This is the agenda that we're going to go through today. First and foremost, if you've been here for a little bit, you may have heard of our rehab company that we partner with, Aegis Rehabs, and we actually have the manager with us today, Susan, who's just going to share a little bit about the company, how they can support you in your journey, and with a little bit of information. So she's going to get us kicked off once we open it up. Then we're going to go into some community updates. Quentin is then going to join me. We're going to talk about elevator modernization. It's a pretty exciting topic. We're getting close to modernizing our first elevator. It's been a long time in coming, but for those folks where the elevators have impacted their ability to get up and down, this is really important. And this is a big project for us. We're going to be taking a look at over the next 5 years or more, depending on how it flows. We'll take a quick deep dive into a quarterly financial snapshot. Sally's going to join us, and then since Deanie is out of the office today, I'll provide a sales update for you all. So with that, I'm going to invite Susan up, and she's going to share a little bit about rehab and how they can support you. Yeah, that's fine.
Hello.
Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'm so excited to be here. It's not working.
It's on. It's on.
Let's go a bit closer.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel really close to this one. Okay. So most people hear me without the microphone, but my name is Susan Donahoe. I have been in the rehab world for over, I'll say 30 years. Most recently, 25 years here on the island. And my first move in over 15 years, I came to you all here at Tide Point, and I'm really excited about the change. And I will talk about Aegis a little bit. That is my parent company. And they are one of the largest national providers of therapy services, and they have a huge umbrella. They not only do therapy, they have all other sorts of entities attached to them. But because of time reasons today, I'm going to just talk briefly about them, because I think it's more important for you all to know what benefit does that bring to you as a Tide Point member. So for all of you out there, if you've not ever had therapy, that is wonderful. For those of you that have had therapy, you may have had inpatient stays at the hospital, you may have had a outpatient center that you've gone to, or you may have therapy in your home. And the best thing about what we can do for you is, as you have these instances appear, unfortunately sometimes, we are able to provide you outpatient services right here on your campus. Has anyone ever done therapy here? Okay. So again, thank you all for choosing us and letting the therapists work with you here. We are located on campus. We are right next to the Broad Creek Care Center. It is attached at the end, but it has a private entrance that you can come and go, and it has an elevator, which I don't know if that's on your plan, but I'll talk about it later, because I understand it could use a little refurb itself, but we do have a handicap accessible entrance as well. So we provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy. Has anyone had speech therapy? And you don't really have to raise your hand if you want to keep that private. But most people say speech therapy, I can talk just fine. Well, I have to tell you, there's a lot more that goes into speech than just communication. That is a piece if you have aphasia after a stroke. But the memory, cognition, it is a passion of mine, although I didn't share with you my degree is occupational therapy, but it is still a passion, because everyone in this room needs to know something. You can improve your brain at any age in its functioning. And how do you do that? Well, I'm going to tell you today, if you always leave the same door out of this building today, go a different direction. Change your routine, simple little things. And that's part of why I made a change in my career path, because I've been doing the same job over 20 years at the same facility, and I preach to those members, oh my gosh, you've got to make changes in order for the new neurons to fire in your brain and create new cells, which keeps your brain functioning a little more healthy. So today, again, sit in a different chair in the dining room. When you guys come to town hall meetings, if you're always a front row person, change to the other side. If you're always a back row person, change to the other side at least. I know we are creatures of habit. You go to the movies, you like that, my husband. I have to sit in the aisle on the outside, row 3, or whatever, number 1 seat, because I have to get up and use the restroom. Well, I told him, let's go to the other side of the movie theater. Simple little things make a big difference. But speech therapy can certainly help you, and they do assessments and they see where you're functioning at for peers your age, and then would set up a program that you can do on your own. I'm sure Tide Point, as I get to know more about your activity levels and the lifestyle here, you have lots of opportunities. I challenge you all to go to something you've never done before. You may be an ace at bridge, mahjong, all these things that you do here, but try something different. And I don't know if they have classes for beginners for bridge, because I know bridge is a very serious thing. But hopefully there's some opportunities for people that maybe never did that before. So speech not only works on cognition, they also work on swallowing. And as we get older, our posture, and I'm always telling myself, head back, Susan, our posture begins to come forward, our head becomes forward, and then we start seeing some swallowing difficulties sometimes. So that's the other part of speech therapy. We can see you as an outpatient, right there in the gym, and be able to provide you those tools and tricks of the trade. Next, can we go back one? Sorry. So how do you get therapy? You do have to have a physician's order, and you can have them fax it right to me at my office, and the number's up there. And I don't know if we're in the directory type one yet or how that works, but we'll figure that out.
We have some handouts that they'll be able to find out from about the concierge.
Okay, concierge will have the handouts, and the information is on the back page of how to fax that information to me. But then we'll call you. We have to verify your insurance because we don't want anyone to have to pay out of pocket if you don't have to. And once we get the verification, we'll call you, set you up for an appointment, go over what's covered, and then begin your therapy evaluation. And one big thing that's different about what we do at Tide Point Outpatient Center than if you go to Boss Orthopedic or you go to all these other outpatient, there's over 12 on the island, and you're all welcome to go to any one of them because it's your personal choice. And if you go to other ones, I'm not saying anything negative about anybody because they're all really good, but we do one-on-one. You will not find us in the gym working with multiple people while you're in there with us. And that's a big difference. And for those that have been there, they can vouch for that. So hopefully you'll think about utilizing our services, and you can always call me at any time. I'll be happy to answer your questions and walk you through the process here. And we'll switch to the next slide. So I love these quotes. It's never too early or too late to work towards the healthiest you. And that's true. And that's one thing I love about this community and Tide Point, all the offerings they have to keep you as well and happy in your lives as you can. But normal aging, unfortunately, usually gives us a little bit of a challenge. So don't give up, search your therapy out, and we'll help you get better. And this last one, your body will be around a lot longer than an expensive handbag. Invest in yourself. So a little fun there at the end of my talk this morning. I love my handbags, don't get me wrong, but we do need to invest in healthy eating, healthy living, healthy minds. So I really appreciate the time this morning, and I hope to see you all on campus here, and then maybe if you need some therapy, you'll look us up here. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you all thought that we were just changing things up for the heck of it. We're changing things up to help your neurons. Keep them fresh, keep them going. So actually, in addition to the handouts that we have up front, it's like the information tower right there by the concierge. It is in the handbook as well. So all the information is in there. So let's jump into some of the community updates. The easement, I've changed the name up a little bit on this one. We have some nicknames for it, but I'm calling it now the Easement Site Restoration and Improvement Project, AKA the ditch. That's how it's better known throughout the community, but I've changed it up a little bit to keep my neurons going in the right direction as well. So these are the updates for that easement site. So this is all been planned in the works. Matter of fact, you can see that on number one, it's the hydro seeding that graded construction shelf. And believe it or not, they did that about 3 weeks ago. And then we had heavy rain, and then it proceeded to wash everything out. So you might see some spotty grass in some of the areas over there, but they gotta come back in, they gotta hydro seed the whole area again. And according to my contact, Taylor Brewer, who's the project manager, she said that we need a good day of rain, and then the next day we can hydro seed it, but then we need 2 days of sunshine after that so it doesn't get washed out. So I think they're just playing it by ear to select the best dates. Once we get it hydro seeded, there's about 1,800 linear foot of fence line that needs to be replaced. So we've identified the company, we're working with Beaufort County to set up the dates. So they're gonna come in, pull out the old fence line, and then they're gonna start installing the new fence line, which is gonna be a 6-foot fence with a privacy screening until you get to that area, which is right around the Freshwater and Tide Point Way T-bone there, that large open area. So in that area, we're gonna bump the fence up to 8 foot with the privacy screening. So a little bit higher in that area. Originally, we were thinking that we were gonna do some vinyl fence in that area, but after talking to the contractors, they said, not a good idea because of all the wind that we get on the island or heavy storms, that more than likely it'd be pushed over. So we're gonna stay with the same type of fence that we have, just bump it up to 10 foot. We've been working with Beaufort County for them to replace some of the damaged plants, the viburnums, that have been, does that go off?
Yeah.
Where's my tech support?
Hey,
Is it on? I think my battery's going dead. Battery's going dead. Yes, it's out.
What you got, Michael? What you need?
I'm not sure what you got in there, but I can hand it off to you. Is this working okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been working with Beaufort County to identify the plants that they're gonna replace, and then we've been working with the greenery to develop a plan in terms of what we're gonna put in there. And high level, it's gonna be about 7 palms on our side of the property line in that specific area where the 10-foot fence is. 7 palms, and then there's a sign there that directs you over to Freshwater and other areas of the community. We're gonna take out that big bush, which is probably an original bush that's been there for 30-some years, take that out completely, and then we're gonna re-landscape that area with some fresh landscaping. And then we're gonna put in front of the palms some local grasses just to sort of fill in underneath. So I'm working on getting a diagram of that from the greenery, landscape diagram that we can actually show you all in terms of what it's gonna look like. So that's the easement site restoration and improvement project. I do want to share just really briefly, if you haven't picked up your handbook, please do so at the concierge desk. When you come down to pick up the new one, bring your old one. We will then recycle that, get rid of it for you, so then you have a fresh copy. And just a reminder for folks, we've been talking about this on and off during some of the hurricane presentations, that we do have a new emergency preparedness icon on the app. And within that icon, you're gonna see it broken down into specific areas, but you're gonna be able to find information such as lodging 1-800 numbers. Carrie and her team are gonna have that by the end of the week. An informational Q&A sheet that was developed as a result of some of the questions that you were asking as we had some of the informational sessions. The hurricane evacuation plan, and then the hurricane evacuation guide. There's also a link to roadmaps for the area. And then we'll probably, as we get more feedback from members or identify additional resources, such as maybe the Right at Home resource that company was in here talking last week, we'll probably load information like that within that app. So it's built, it's open, you can use it. We'll continue to put resources in there for you. And now I'm going to switch over to the other mic. Hang with me. Test. Beautiful. Okay, so I am going to invite Quentin up, and we're going to talk about elevators. Somewhat boring subject, but for our community, where we've had some elevator problems over the last couple of years, many of you were impacted in just recently, a couple of weeks ago, when we had 2 elevators go down all at once, which generally doesn't happen, but it did on that night, and it was a challenge for some folks getting up and down the stairs. So our focus area is really going to be with the verandas. That's where we had the most problems and challenges. We're going to invite Quentin up, and he's going to talk to you about the timeline, and then sort of walk through the tasks that are going to take place as they go through the modernization.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. So I'm here to talk about the elevator modernization.
Yeah, pull that up. Pull that up.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, good.
Okay, that's, you can hear me?
It's not working. Is it on?
Turn off my. Okay, all right. So the first elevator that we're going to do is consider Veranda number 2, and that's the address of 33 to 39 Freshwater. And the start date is going to be 8/29 to 9/5, and the hoist away work will begin 9/5 to 9/12. The cab work is scheduled from 9/12 to 9/19. And then we have an adjustment in punch list from 9/19 to 9/26. So with the mobilized, we're gonna prepare and deploy resources, equipment, and personnel to a work site for elevator installation, repairs, or maintenance. The machine room will be where they will remove and install these essential mechanicals and electrical components required to operate the elevator system. Control center, ensuring the smooth and safe operation of the elevator. Hoistway work, which is the vertical shaft, assembling and installing elevators components, including guide rails, ropes, cables, doors, and related mechanical and electrical equipment within the hoistway for the modernization. Elevator cab work consists of replacing such as wall panels, ceilings, lighting fixtures, handrails, and flooring.
I'm sorry.
Adjusting and addressing elevator punch list items, detailed tasks that needs to be completed, corrected, or repaired before the elevator is officially signed off and put into full service. Addressing these items ensures the elevator meets safety and regulation and owner expectations. So one of the things that Michael and myself decided to do with each resident that lived in the veranda that's being worked on, I'm gonna meet with them. We're gonna come up with an evacuation plan, meaning if they need help, what would be the best way to get them out of the unit while we're under construction. And I will also check on them daily and weekly progress, letting them know where we at. Like this week, we got this done. Next week, we plan to do such and such and move, and, you know, so on and so on. That's the plan with that. We do have the local fire department. They are going to be aware that this elevator is going to be down, so they'll be on, you can say high alert. In case we get any calls, they know what's going on with the elevator to come to help and assist. And they're usually 2 minutes away. Any questions?
Thank you, Quentin. I will say, I mean, maybe more information than you needed to know about each step, but they are planning about a 4-week project. So initially, you got to come in and get everything in there, and that's the mobilization piece, and then they start working from there. So we just wanted to share that it's a pretty extensive project. So it's basically taking everything out and replenishing, repairing, and restoration of the whole lead elevator. So I will also share that originally we had one elevator planned for 2025. And working with the finance committee and the board, we identified some opportunities that we could shift some other projects that we currently have in the queue out a little bit further. And we didn't do that on a whim. We actually talked to our regional corporate partners and vendors to ensure that we weren't really putting ourselves at risk by pushing stuff out. But by pushing some of the projects out, we did release some money for this year to start another elevator at the end of the year. So we're essentially going to be doing this one, and then we've got another one in the queue that we're hoping to get fired up by the end of the year, as long as everything works out and they get all the parts. And the reason that we did it, because we've been having so many issues, it's been a hot topic. And then if we, as we look into 26, 27 and beyond, if we can continue to do it at that pace, we certainly will, but there's no guarantee. Because these other projects eventually float back in, such as a roof project. We have a roof project that we need to do, which is pretty extensive. So We have freed up some money by pushing some of the projects out for this year. It does allow us to do 2 elevators. We will look at that again for next year, but there's no guarantee it'll be 2, 2, and 2. It might have to go back down to 1. Now, as we do these elevator projects, we're actually going to be able to take the equipment, the parts off of these elevators and stock them on our shelves. So if another elevator goes down, we will have parts and supplies here to be able to get it repaired even quicker, which is nice. So, and that was part of our plan when we're actually going through and talking with the new elevator company, Cavender, when we were working on the plan with them. And it's actually a great idea, Quentin. I think you came up with that idea to be able to do that. So hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, we're gonna have the parts. So, thank you, Quentin.
Thank you.
Are the parts interchangeable
With the ones on the verandas, yes,
just the glass?
just the verandas.
How is this project being funded?
So
How is it funded from, where
it is funded through the reserve. So part of the monthly fee that you pay on a monthly basis, a percentage of that goes into our reserve fund. And that reserve fund then funds the capital projects that we do throughout the community. So, I mean, these are $200,000 plus projects, so they're big. It's a lot of money, and but we haven't, unfortunately, we have the reserves, we have the funding, we haven't talked about any types of, having to pull in any special assessments or anything to do this, which is good. So we're doing it within the confines of our current reserves, which is good. So for the folks at 33 to 39, that's what your elevator's gonna look like soon. Okay, I have a few dining updates that I want to share with you. Some of this is just really going over some stuff you've already heard related to dining, but this week we actually started the fast casual program. And we're actually doing a soft opening. We invited some members here to test it, trial it, give us feedback on the food, the service, how it's going so far, the menu. So we've gotten some thumbs up on this. So today is this evening we will be doing it once again, and then that's the last day for this week, and then next Monday we will officially open on Monday, July 28th for that fast casual. So just a little bit about that. So as a reminder, since we're going to be using the club room for this meal program, that if there was events that were scheduled in there previously, we are going to need to find other space for that, which could be the private dining room, but we're not going to be able to have that club room available for special events at this time. The fast casual menu will not be part of the to-go program. You'll see the menu, but you're not going to be able to order to-goes for the fast casual menu. And the menu communication, though, will be the same cadence as we communicate all the other menus. So when Zorn puts the other menus out, you'll also see the fast casual for the next week. Zorn and Chef have developed a 6-week rotation. So every 6 weeks, we will be coming back with the same menu, and then eventually we'll be changing those out as well. And then once again, Monday, July 8th at 4:30 is the go live date. So pretty exciting, another opportunity for variety within our meal program, an opportunity for members to come in and grab a quick meal. The goal is to get you in and out within an hour. It's in a club room. We have a bar set up there as well. You can get your drink, you can sit down, the server will take your order. We have, it's a 1-plate meal, a composed plate we call it, which is very nice. And then you might get some cookies or truffles at the end, but it's not like a dessert menu that you'll have to order from. I did want to share this with you because it seems to bubble up from time to time, and we really haven't talked about this in the past, at least in this forum, the meal program. And so our meal program is built to deliver a meal that consists of, and I'm talking at this point, I'm talking really about the dinner meal program here, where you can get the same at lunch, 2 starters, a soup and a salad, an entree, 2 sides, a vegetable and a starch, a selection from a dessert menu, and then a beverage. And like generally in the restaurants, you know, it's really not a concern because this is generally what folks get. But what we're seeing is that when folks are ordering, not all folks, but we're seeing the start of a pattern where folks are ordering to-goes, that it's not only a meal, but it's a meal plus plus. A meal plus, give me 3 ice creams. You know, those kind of things. So I just share that, you know, our program is built around this type of setup for a meal program. And we'll work with the dining committee to vet this out a little bit more if we need to, but I wanted to get it out in front of the members that when you're ordering to-goes, this is generally what, you know, the plan. So if folks want to have breakfast, we got a continental breakfast. It's available Monday through Saturday. Feel free to come up for breakfast. It's a great deal. It's a buffet. We got it set up. Members gave us feedback that they'd like to have the buffet. We set it up like that. Self-service. It's a great little deal. But the meal program is not meant to deliver your breakfast to you by ordering extra items. So, I'm sure this will start some hallway chatter. But that's fine because I think we need to talk about it. So I share that, and as I share this, I also wanted to share something else. In dining, you're going to get additional information from dining on this because there have been so many changes with dining, not only with the fast casual, but also as we get past the fast casual startup, how we approach dining in the Calabogie and in the Magnolia Room. The dining team would like to have a session similar to Mingle with Mike, but it's going to be really focused on dining. It's called Dining Talk. And Zoran and Jessica are going to get the dates out to you. He was going to text it, but they haven't fully vetted it and got a date yet, but we're going to get a date and time out to you. It's going to be about an hour, and this is how they envision it. The dining team, Zoran and his leaders will come in, and then chef and the sous chef and the pastry chef will come in. They will just open it up. They'll provide you updates about what's going on in dining, and then it'll be opened up for questions. So if you have questions about the meal plan, or you have suggestions about vegetables, or you know, it's just another avenue for you to be able to share your thoughts, but also be able to hear, you know, what's going on with the dining program because we do have so many changes coming down the pipe. And we've already been through a lot of changes. So it may just be for short term. It might be 3 months. It might be 6 months. But maybe you enjoy it. And you just want to keep it because it does give you an opportunity to talk about the dining program and share your thoughts about the dining program above and beyond what you can already do, which is through the comment cards. So more to come on that. That's coming soon. What I did at the end of the first quarter was I shared a quarterly financial update. And since we're now in July and we've ended the second quarter, I'm going to invite Sally up and she's going to share our financial update about our outcomes for the second quarter and then year to date.
Testing, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I recognize so many faces from the board, from the finance committee, and just from the hallway, but my name is Sally Henderson, Director of Accounting. I've been here 1 year as of next August 12th. So the old saying, time flies when you're having fun. The first couple of months kind of dragged on a little bit. But it's been a whirlwind the last couple of months because I've been made to feel so welcome, have such support through the board and through you all, really. So I'm really happy to report the first 6 months have been very positive. We are ahead of our budget. We're in great shape. Our revenue is a little short in the dining room, food and beverage, but we've made that up by really controlling our expenses. So I'm really happy to report, which is not up here, we're not gonna talk about the budget, but just generally realize that we're really had a very good first 6 months. So halfway there. So for the financial update, the operating revenue. So $1.1 million for the month, $6 million year to date. And that's primarily, I think 93% of our operating revenue comes from your monthly fees. So that's a very significant part of how we fund our operating expenses. So that's the revenue. The interest earned is also considered, and that's what we have in the reserve account. So we have basically two bank accounts. One is for operations and one is for reserve. Like Michael mentioned, the reserve account, from your monthly fee, we take 10.5% of your monthly fee and we put that aside for reserve, for those capital expenditures that we know inevitably we're gonna have. So that's the interest on those funds that we've kind of kept in. We actually have 3 different bank accounts, Majority and Raymond James, that we have interest on. And then, of course, when you have revenue, you have the expenses that go along with it. What does it take to support that revenue? So operating expenses, $963,000 for the month of June, $5.8 million year to date for the 6 months ending June 30th. And that's what, the labor, the insurance, the employee benefits, everything it takes to run the club and provide the services. And then the last piece is contribution to the reserve. And that's primarily the 10.5% that comes out of your monthly fee, as well as we consider the interest earned on the reserve, as well as when there's a closing in the community, and anyone who's closed recently, there's 2 times your monthly fee. It's called a membership fee, but it's really a contribution to reserve. So that we also push over to the reserve account. So for every closing, that's a nice contribution to the reserve account as well. So when you look at that in the overall, just a mathematical calculation, revenue less expenses, we actually are positive both for the month by $51,000 and year to date $296,000. So it's a kind of a modified cash flow that basically says we're good. Everything looks great. So.
Thanks, Sally.
Do we have one question?
Absolutely.
What is the amount in the reserve?
What
What is the total amount in the reserve?
What is the balance?
In the reserve account.
Here you go.
Right now, we have a reserve as of June, without moving some of those contributions, $959,000. But if you look at, once we move the reserves back and forth, it's closer to about $825,000. But remember, each month, we get that, there's an additional 10.5%, there's movement there.
But the 871 is more or less equivalent to the total reserve balance now? So we've used up all the prior reserves, is my question.
Well, the prior reserves.
When you said the reserve balance is about $900,000.
Yes, right.
That's how much we put in the reserve in the last 7 months.
That's the balance now, because remember
That's the
what
balance.
comes out of the reserve account are all the capital expenditures.
And they've all been spent.
Yes.
But you haven't reported on capital expenditures here.
Right, exactly. So when we work on the budget, we don't look just at the operations. We look at, well, there's also X dollars of capital expenditures that we need to fund through that monthly reserve. So it's a big picture. We typically start with capital and then go backwards into what are our expenses and then what the monthly fee will be.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, based on the contributions to the reserve through 6 months, annualized this year anyway, is 1.7 million, which is being contributed. If you take the 871 contributions year to date times 2, because this is through 6 months, it's being funded this year at $1.7 million.
And we'll spend most of it.
we'll spend a lot of it, yes.
That's the question.
So, okay, so let me jump in. Any other questions about the reserve or this financial update? I mean, it is, I remember about this time last year that I was sharing with you somewhat of the opposite story, that we were having a lot of challenges. There's a lot of things that were hitting our operating budget, or actually took us into the negative. So this is really good that we're actually be able to share some positive results. So, thanks, Sally. So let me jump over to the sales update. Deanie would normally do this, but Deanie is in Mississippi. So her daughter, she's moving her daughter into college, but her daughter's not there. Like, you are one trooper of a mom. Yeah, so her daughter actually has an internship up in Washington, D.C. with one of the senators, which is pretty neat. So, yeah, so that's pretty neat. So let me jump over to sales. This is what we currently have. As of today, we have 9 active listings, 2 Cape Charles, 5 Cape Hatteras, 2 St. Augustine. Though I think this number's dropped a little bit since yesterday, because I think Deanie said that they had some additional sales yesterday. So I think it was Cape Hatteras that actually dropped yesterday. And then through, actually as of today, we have quite a few closings. So we've had 12 through June, which was a really strong 6 months. But if you take a look at July, August, and September, we actually got 8 more, which is going to put us at least 20, and then that's through September. So I think we're pretty set on. I mean, sales are still good, although things have softened up a little bit in the real estate world. I think the interest rates for a lot of folks are quieting things down a little bit. Although a lot of our members don't have a loan. So it's really not that impactful, but I think it's the whole market that is sort of tariffs, a lot of buzz in the market that is making some folks slow up a little bit, hesitate a little bit. Should I sell now? Should I wait? We're seeing some of that Sun City. I think Sun City is an area, they got a lot of new building out there. So there's a lot of options for folks when they're buying in Sun City, which makes it harder for folks in Sun City maybe to sell. I certainly saw that in Texas. When you have a lot of new development. So, but I think Deanie is pleased with where they are in terms of the sales pace, in terms of how the sales are going, and she feels that we have a bright year ahead of us, because some of these funds actually flow into as we do closing, so that flows into the reserve. So that's good news. I wanted to just share a couple other quick updates as we pull the town hall to close before we invite Austin up. Is Austin here? Okay, Austin and Heather here. So just a couple more minutes. So we have the Mingle with Mike on August 14th. So I would love to see you there. And then on August 28th, 2 weeks later, we have the town hall meeting. And before I actually turn it over to Heather, is there any other questions that you have? Thoughts?
What are the hours of operation of the new venue, dining venue?
So the fast casual is 4:30 to 6:30. And right now it's Monday through Saturday. 4:30 to 6:30. No reservation needed. Dress code is similar to what you would dress for dinner for the Calabogie. Yes, sir.
What's the status of a new contract on cable television?
So our corporate team is actually working on a new contract. They have partnered with, I forget the name of the company, but this company is pretty much all they do. They work with large corporations to negotiate the contracts for cable and internet. The last conversation I had, which was a few weeks ago, even though our contract is set to expire, it does go month to month after that. And they're not concerned about it, because even if there are additional fees as part of the negotiation where we sign a contract, they'll ask them if there's any higher fees based on what the contract is to credit us back for that. So there's, according to our negotiators, they're working out the best deal for us. we won't lose service. Service will continue as we currently have it. Then when we get a new contract signed, we'll share that information with you. So status quo for now. We're working behind the scenes to get it done. Yes, sir.
At this point, Michael, are the plans to stay with Spectrum?
There's really only a couple providers, Spectrum and Hargrave. So 50-50.
That's really a 90-10.
Yeah, so chances are, yeah, it might stay. I mean, it's less turnover, less, yeah, you don't have to worry about recabling and another company coming in and replacing equipment. It's certainly easier for you all, for our community. So hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Heather, you want to come on up?
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Keep it close.
Keep it close. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm here to report on our 2025 Minutes in Motion. We had 76 participants, and which is really good. We lost some of our heavy hitters from last year, but that's okay. Everybody always asks, how do we do compared to the other V communities? And really, it was Arizona, and they kind of whip us every year, but they have way more people, and we're learning each year. Like this year, we added the calendars that went to everybody's home, you know, so you had your own way to log, and next year, try to make it so it's a better reflection of populations, because they outnumber us, but we're still competitive. Let me just throw out some numbers. Total minutes, we had 127,666 total minutes from everybody, which is a lot of moving, I'm so proud of y'all. Before I go on, no t-shirts today. I came empty-handed, only because, again, we were doing things different. So we set out the individual sheets, got everybody's size specific to you, sent them to the t-shirt makers. School starts early this year, like I think less than 2 weeks, so we're behind the back to school crowd. So I promise the t-shirts are coming, and when they get here, we will notify you, and you can either pick them up down at the fitness center or up here at the clubhouse in Joanne Austin's office. So I want to thank everybody again for participating. I love this. I love how into it everybody gets, the different activities. I know we had to rule out, like, getting up and going to the bathroom does not count, but I gave you some leeway on some other things. So, but anyways, let me just let you know about our top 3. In 3rd place for the men, we had Mr. Neal, Mr. Mike Neal. Yay! All right. 2nd place was Mr. Lopez. I'll give you a pat on the back later. And in 1st place was Mr. Rambo. That is so awesome.
Such a deal.
So you'll get your t-shirt. All right, and then for our women, in 3rd place, we had Mrs. Zerbrug. Nice job. 2nd place, Miss Carol Taylor. Just watering the plants and walking. And our 1st place winner, 3 years in a row, Miss Janet Dombe. Congratulations. And again, I'm just so happy that everybody participated. If you didn't participate, you will next year. We'll make sure of that. And again, I'll let you know when the t-shirts get in. But thank you. And class starts at 11:30 down at the fitness center. Yes, ma'am.
Is this total number for community, or is it a per capita? Because per capita is much more equitable if they have more people.
It
Or is it
was,
people who participate?
it's just, yeah, the people that participate. So we didn't like, yeah, that's what, you know, I had, a member trying to explain to me math yesterday, and I'll have it figured out by next year. I promise. But that's it. And then we have certificates for everyone, but I'm gonna wait and give them to you with your t-shirts to make it easier. So, thank you. Yes,
Do you know what color they are?
I do. Do you want me to ruin the surprise?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe they're turquoise, and this year we had Miss Hackelman and her granddaughter help design the front.
Oh,
So we're gonna have a new design, and the t-shirt will be turquoise.
great.
Yeah. And then any questions while I'm up here for fitness center? You know, please, if you haven't been there in a while, come back down. We have a number of classes, personal training. If you come any time of day, there's equipment available. We can walk you through it. We can get you started on a program. Just if you haven't been down there, stop in and get reacquainted and start visiting us again. If you're there, keep coming back. If you come early enough, you might see Mr. Hogue in the mornings. He's there for entertainment.
But before you go, should I call you Coach or Heather?
Heather's fine.
Oh, okay. How many minutes do we need to take out Arizona?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
We'll set a goal next year.
They might think of all that, but I know this team here,
Oh, if they have the number.
yeah, I think we need the numbers so they know what we need to get, so.
Yeah. And in the first year we did it, we partnered with a couple of the other smaller communities, like Colorado and Chicago. But everybody kind of went their own way last year, and then this year, same thing. So I'm gonna do my part next year, like getting the other communities involved, because I think that it's a neat way to, you know, just their V communities also.
Yeah, thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And then thank you everybody that participated. That's awesome. That's awesome. So as we wrap up, I got a couple extra minutes, so I'm going to share this if I may. Had some questions around the hurricane and particularly the evacuation and particularly the per diem and how that's paid. And I've shared the amount, with the folks in town halls and Inglewood Bright and then the separate sessions. I think it's 460 and 600, 450, 600 or 460 and 600. But it's paid, that per diem is paid when you return because it's hard for us to front the money. We don't know how many days. So hopefully I haven't, given you the perception that you're going to be, what's going to come out in front of the evacuation. So you'll need to have cash available for your hotel rooms and food, and then when we get back, we would actually reimburse that. So hopefully that wasn't confusing for folks, but it did come up as a question, and the individual that shared it said that there might be a feeling that that money was going to come up front, which in fact comes on the back end of per diem. So, I'll share some additional thoughts just around the hurricane evacuation as we continue to connect with hotels and just try to build some relationships. We continue to get the same story, so I don't think it's going to change. Hey, thanks for reaching out. I'm glad that we're able to connect and talk. We're not going to be able to put any rooms aside for you, but if something happens, call us as soon as you can, and we'll do the best we can for you. So that is for the larger group blocks for the Type 1 evacuation, and we have about 90 folks that are signed up for the Type 1 evacuation. That's not including staff that need to go and support. So as I'm thinking through, and I think I might have shared this in some forums, hotels are generally 70–80% full without an event taking place. So if you have a 150 room hotel, you're 80% full, you're over 100 rooms already. So we might have to take a look at multiple hotels and be split up. And that gets hard because then you gotta have the staff to be able to split up as well. And I think that's why Carrie invited Bright and Home in during one of the sessions last week. For those folks that attended the sessions last week, Right at Home is one of our providers here that actually supports many residents in many different ways. Right at Home can actually support you as well during an evacuation in many different ways. They can go along with you, they can drive your car, they can help you pack, they can get your medicines and everything together. So if there is a need such as that, whether you're self-evacuating or you're evacuating with us and you need additional support, that is a good resource for you. And actually, up in the information tower, we have handouts that are available for Right at Home if you wanted to reach out and plan for that. And I'll just share this in general because we have folks from home listening as well. If there are folks that feel that they have a high need and it's going to be a challenge to evacuate because you need additional support, we do encourage you to reach out to our care center and take a look at a respite stay over in our care center. Then you would evacuate with our care center, and then you would have all the care and all the resources that you need. But if that's the case, please don't wait for the last minute because there's only so many beds in the inn over there, so to speak. There's not a lot of availability. So that's just another way that you can plan if you have some needs that you need to be, to help get you through any type of emergency event like that. So there's some additional resources to you if you need them. So I just wanted to put that out there. That some of those questions came up as we were talking with members last week through these emergency evacuation meetings that we were having. Not everybody attended them, but these are some of the things that we talked about. With that, any other thoughts or questions? If not, we'll wrap it up. All right, thanks so much.
Sure.